It's been 17 years since I crossed over into this world and awakened the trade extraction system. I thought I'd be cheating my way to the top, but I ended up as a dock worker who can't even afford a full meal. Hauling heavy sacks every day, working myself to death just for a bowl of watery porridge. That stuff is clearer than river water. You could use it as a freaking mirror. Today is finally the day to draw another trait. I called up the system. The system notified me, 2.5 hours remaining until the next trait draw. Currently equipped trait. Developed deltoids common. It slightly boosts your shoulder strength. Great for lugging cargo around. Hunger resistance white, which takes the edge off an empty stomach. In Super Beast's pain receptor white, which dulls your sense of pain. Makes getting beaten up a little more bearable. I've also got a pile of unequipped white tier traits. Pointy head white, food guard white, loves eating eggs white. But this system has two massive flaws. Number 1, the cooldown is painfully long. I can only draw once a year. And number 2, the drop rate is absolute garbage. The lowest grade white traits make up 99% of the pool. It completely pollutes the gacha. Supposedly, cultivating martial arts and raising your realm can boost the chances of getting high quality traits. But I don't have the aptitude for it, so I can't even cultivate. I'm completely screwed from the start. Just let me respawn already. Chen Yi, are you slacking off again? Do you want a beating? Thanks to the Super Beast's pain receptor, it didn't hurt at all. But still, damage is damage. 2.5 minutes left until the next draw. Come on, system, don't let me down. The odds of pulling a good trade are definitely low, but hey, you know about Murphy's Law, right? Just let me get lucky this once. Looking back on the past 18 years, I was born into a farming family in Luoding village, over in Baiyun County. We weren't wealthy or anything, but at least we never really starved. For a feudal society, that's honestly not bad. Until 3 months ago, when a group of mysterious men attacked. They slaughtered everyone in Luoding village. They didn't even spare the animals. The only reason I survived was thanks to Da Chun, our dim-witted village fool. He dragged me along and jumped into the Qing River that flows through our village. The current was brutal, and we fought for our lives. We quickly ran out of energy and blacked out. The river swept us all the way downstream to Qing County. Miraculously, a fisherman pulled us out. The Blackstone Gang saved your lives. To repay our kindness, you've decided to work for us as laborers. And providing you 1 meal a day is more than enough. I couldn't even read the slave contract clearly. They just forced my thumbprint right onto it. The guys from the Blackstone Gang were just so hospitable. They literally threw a sack over my head on the spot. And just like that, I landed a stable job, alongside Da Chun, at the Qing County docks. I've been working as a human punching bag for the last 3 months. As my mind drifted, the countdown for the trade draw finally hit 0. Trade extraction system, activating. A parchment scroll that only I could see appeared in thin air. Countless specks of light drifted across it, looking just like a shimmering galaxy. Every single point of light was darting around at high speed in total chaos. The cluster was mostly glowing white, but if you looked closely, you could spot hints of green and gold. There was even a super faint, prismatic gleam. These little lights were the traits. The color represents their rarity. Gods of Gacha, grant me your power. I slammed my hand down, and in that moment, the gears of destiny finally began to turn. A brand new trait materialized, dropping right into the palm of my hand. A brilliant, 7-colored rainbow light exploded. Even with my eyes shut tight, my pupils felt like they were on fire. Prismatic Tear, a mythic trait, the simulator. Before I crossed over, I was a massive bookworm. I'd binged tons of anime and manga. I know exactly how these simulator tropes work, judging by this description. As long as I survive long enough in the simulation, I'll get way more chances to roll for traits. It basically boosts my drop rate. With this simulator, never mind just escaping the Blackstone Gang. Crushing them completely will be a breeze. The Blackstone Gang has been working me and Da Chun to the bone. And those bastards who slaughtered my family, you better say your prayers. I'm coming to settle the score. Simulation, start. Tragedy struck Luo Ding village. Your hometown was massacred, and your loved ones perished. You finally realized just how cruel this world is. Thanks to a sudden stroke of genius from Da Chun, he dragged you into the river to escape. Unconscious, the two of you drifted into the borders of Qing River County. You were fished out by the Black Stone Gang and forced into hard labor down at their docks. Under the crack of their whips, you and the other laborers became nothing more than walking corpses. With no hope for tomorrow. Year 1, 18 years old, initiating trait roll. Roll successful. White tier trait, Wave Rider, significantly enhances swimming ability. Swimming skills upgraded to a national athlete level. Would you like to equip this trait? During the simulation, this option only pops up once a year when rolling for traits. The simulation paused. It's waiting for me to choose. Wait, does the first year already count as a full year? There's no doubt about it, I definitely need to equip this one. I'm literally working right by the river. Being a strong swimmer can only help. You swapped out hunger resistance for Wave Rider. Realizing the simulation had begun, you felt a sudden urge to just go wild and do whatever you wanted. But you were still too weak, and your current situation was grim. Acting recklessly now would just get you killed. You pushed down that reckless urge. You knew you had to survive a little longer in this simulation. So you could roll for more traits. Hurry it up. We still have 3 more ships to unload today. If you don't finish, no food for 3 days. The crack of the overseer's whip sent a shiver through the laborers. You pretended to cower in fear, but inside, you were already plotting. Once you finally got strong enough, you'd find 100 different ways to butcher these bastards. Night fell. You were just about to get some rest, when you heard the foreman, Wang Chang, call out. I need 3 guys. Got a sweet gig for you. A sweet gig? Yeah, right. You didn't buy it for a second, so you faked being asleep. Stop faking it. I just saw you taking a leak by the river. I saw you. With no other choice, you dragged yourself up and walked over. If you didn't, Wang Chang would definitely beat the crap out of you, and then force you to take the sweet gig anyway. Wang Chang gave the 3 of you a sleazy grin. First thing tomorrow, someone's gonna take you downstream to the 10-mile pavilion to deliver a meal to the river god. Once it's done, you boys can go live it up at the Red Joy brothel for 3 whole days. Deliver a meal to the river god? Or were the 3 of you being delivered as the meal? Hard to visit a brothel when you're dead. You remembered what some of the older laborers had whispered about. There was a river demon lurking in the Qing River, and it had a taste for human flesh. Whenever it got hungry, it would whip up massive storms to capsize the passing boats. But ever since the Black Stone Gang took over, the river had been awfully quiet. The old-timers all figured that the gang had struck a dark deal with the demon. Every month, they'd sacrifice a few guys to keep it fed, just so their shipping routes would stay safe. Son of a bitch, you cursed under your breath, knowing you were completely doomed. If that was the case, you had to escape tonight. In the dead of night, while everyone was fast asleep, you took a leap of faith and plunged into the water. You had to make it to the other side, but the Qing River's currents were vicious. Normally, you would never risk escaping like this. You'd either get caught instantly, or drown from exhaustion. But now, with your Wave Rider trait, you actually had a fighting chance. If you stayed here, you'd be dead by tomorrow night anyway. You began thrashing your way through the dark water. My swimming skills have really leveled up. Swimming to the other side like this, piece of cake. Haha, I'm finally free. Hearing the splashing water, the Black Stone Gang was alerted. Wang Chang sneered, let's see who's faster, your swimming, or my boat. Wang Chang led his men onto the boat, just about to pull the anchor and set sail. Suddenly, massive flames shot up into the sky on the shore. Ha ha ha, fire, it's on fire. Da Chun had grabbed the lighting braziers from the dock, and smashed them into a pile of unshipped cargo. A huge fire instantly blazed up. Wang Chang couldn't even bother chasing you anymore. Quick, put out the fire. He hurried to get his men to fetch water. Through the flickering flames, you faintly saw a group of Black Stone Gang members cursing, grabbing their machetes, and lunging at Da Chun. Blood splattered everywhere. I exited the simulation, and looked over at Da Chun beside me. Right now, because he was starving, he was squatting on the ground, drooling over the thin porridge in someone else's bowl. He might not be very smart, but he's incredibly loyal. If I ever get the power to escape the Black Stone Gang, I'm definitely taking Da-chun with me. Splash. The river waters churned. There was no time to mourn Da-chun's death. I can't let his sacrifice be in vain. You have to survive. Survive until the day you get a chance to cultivate. Then, extract the cultivation base from the simulation, and let the real-life you and Da-chun escape the Black Stone Gang's tyranny. You pushed with every ounce of your strength through the freezing, rapid river currents, and swam to the opposite shore. Thank God, whether it was the river god, or some river demon, it didn't show up. Maybe it had already gotten the message from the Black Stone Gang, and was waiting downstream at that mysterious feeding spot, completely missing the situation upstream. After coming ashore, you faced the choice of where to go next. Option 1. Seek refuge with your third sister in Xian County. Option 2. Wander the wilderness and hide in the deep mountains. Option 3. Swim back. Please make your choice. The simulation paused once again, waiting for me to decide the next step. I thought about it for a second. Option 3 is just a joke, so that's an immediate cross out. So, seek refuge with my third sister, or lay low in the wild. I actually have 3 siblings. My oldest brother and second sister went missing in the mountains while foraging when I was 8. I haven't heard a single thing about them since. My third sister married into a family in Xian County when I was 15. I remember my brother-in-law was a martial artist. If I go to her, I should be able to get in touch with the martial arts world. Maybe I can even ask how to awaken my martial roots. Or if I can still cultivate even without them. I choose option 1. You chose to seek refuge with your third sister. Pitch black night, freezing wind. You sprinted wildly through the mountain forest. You were heading to Xian County to find your third sister. Xian County is right next to Qing County. The 2 towns aren't too far apart, and you knew the general direction. Over 10 days later, you fled all the way, escaping the Black Stone Gang's pursuit. You survived by eating wild berries and game. Occasionally, passing by a village, you'd steal a little food, almost getting caught by the villagers who thought you were a wildman. Just one more mountain to cross, and you'd reach Xian County. Suddenly, a group of figures darted out from the woods, blocking your path. I opened up this mountain. I planted this tree. Ah, the classic opening line. You've run into mountain bandits. And the leader was a female bandit, burly and massive, with 4 chins and a face full of fierce fat. Just looking at her sheer tonnage, you knew she was a top-tier fighter. Heroine. I don't have a single dime. You know bandits are only in it for the money, right? If you're broke, they probably won't give you a hard time. But, you're pretty handsome, and my last husband just passed away. You came at the perfect time. Boys, take him away. You get tied up by the bandits and dragged all the way up the mountain. Wait, what? What kind of bandit kidnaps a guy for his body? Tonight, the Flying Tiger Stronghold is blazing with lights. Tonight, the Flying Tiger Stronghold is overflowing with joy. Tonight, the Flying Tiger Stronghold is dead drunk. People's joys and sorrows truly don't connect. You get stripped naked and scrubbed clean. You put on the groom's red outfit, toss on the red veil, pour some wine, and sit in the bridal chamber, waiting for the bride to pop your skull open. The female bandit who snatched you is named Shu Linglong. Her dad, Shu Hu, is the big boss of this Flying Tiger Stronghold. Hearing that his daughter is getting married for the 6th time, Shu Hu is absolutely thrilled. The father and daughter are right outside the bridal chamber right now. Shu Hu keeps reminding his daughter to be gentle with you this time, and to make absolutely sure she gives him a grandson. Your scalp tingles with terror as you listen. You suddenly realize exactly how Shu Linglong's previous husbands met their end. Reeking of booze, Shu Linglong pushes open the door to the bridal chamber. Seeing this, I, sitting outside the simulation, can only feel a full body shudder. It feels like I'm experiencing it firsthand. You've suffered, man. It's my fault for picking the wrong route. I am so sorry. The next day, you sleep in until the sun is high in the sky. The moment you step outside, you bump into Shu Linglong. Giggling, she hands you a brand new set of clothes, and strictly orders every bandit in the stronghold not to mess with you. Even though the nights are sheer torture, your daytime life actually isn't too bad. You get to feast on endless meat and fish, and you don't have to lift a finger. Just lay back and soak up the sun. You mentioned that you want to practice martial arts, so Shu Linglong brings you every single martial arts manual in the stronghold. She lets you take your pick and even teaches you hand by hand. But sadly, you just don't have the innate talent for it. You can't even get your foot in the door of true martial arts. You can only learn some basic punches and kicks to stay in shape. Year 2, 19 years old. Starting the trade draw. Draw successful. Trade unlocked. Idol dance trainee. You excel at singing, dancing, rapping, and playing basketball. Would you like to adjust your traits? You swap out bulging deltoids for idol dance trainee, even though it's still a completely useless trait. But hey, never count a young man out. As long as I stay alive, I'll draw a useful trait sooner or later. By your 3rd year at the stronghold, you're absolutely glowing with vitality. Even though you could never master martial arts, you kept up with your workouts, along with being forced into some heavy nightly workouts. You've really built up your stamina. You still can't hold a candle to a real martial artist, but you're way tougher than your average guy. And honestly, if you weren't tough, you would have joined the ex-husbands in the grave a long time ago. Damn it, you pretend that you've fully blended into the bandit lifestyle. You even use your new trait to perform a slick combo for Shu Linglong. What's up, my bandit bros? I'm a trainee who's been in this stronghold for 2.5 years. After watching your whole routine of kung fu punches. Suddenly, a panicked scream echoes from the stronghold gates. Boss, the government troops are attacking. Up in the main hall, Shu Hu furiously smashes his bowl of wine on the floor. The soldiers are already here? How did we not get a single warning? Where are the patrols? Where the hell are the lookouts? And what about the traps? Boss, it's the second in command. He sold us out to the government. He led the soldiers right up our secret cargo trail. Hearing this, your eyes instantly light up. This is it, your chance to escape. But suddenly, a chubby, meaty hand tightly grabs your wrist. Chen Yi, come with me. She drags you right up to the mouth of a cave. Hubby, just keep walking straight in. This tunnel leads all the way to the next mountain over. Only my dad and I know about it. No one is going to chase you. Hurry up and run. Me, run? You didn't expect Shu Linglong to be so serious with you. It seems she completely bought your act. It was just the tough guy act you usually put on for them back in the bandit camp. Seeing you hesitate, she urged you again and again. Hubby, don't worry about me, just run. I'll go distract the guards for you. Go. She grabbed you and tossed you straight into the cave. Just like tossing a little helpless chick. Hey, lady, I'm not even a real bandit. Why the hell would I be scared of the guards? Wielding 2 massive war hammers, Shu Linglong charged at the guards without looking back. Staring at her broad, burly back, you desperately wondered what on earth you should do next. Option 1. Go deeper into the cave and escape through the secret mountain passage. Option 2. Head back to the stronghold and fight alongside your wifey. Option 3. Tip off the authorities and wipe out the bandits for good. You chose option 1, deciding to leave through the secret passage. Inside the dark, damp cave, you fumbled your way forward in pitch black. At first, it was so narrow that only one person could squeeze through. But after a few thousand steps, it suddenly opened up. A bright light appeared ahead. You had finally stepped out of that natural tunnel between the 2 mountains. After getting your bearings, you continued your journey towards Xian County town. The next day, you arrived at Xian County. Out on the streets, you spotted a convoy of guards. The prison carts were holding Shu Hu, Shu Linglong, and the other bandit leaders. They were heavily wounded, barely clinging to life. The low-level grunts had already been left for dead in the wilderness. They weren't even worth dragging back for an interrogation. You didn't dare to stare, slipping quietly into a narrow alleyway. You had escorted your 3rd sister when she got married, so you still remembered exactly where she lived in the county town. But why is her house sealed off? The gates of her little courtyard were plastered with white police seals. The text read, sealed by the Xian County office, Bailing Commandery, Qing province of the Great Qian dynasty. Peeking over the wall, you saw that the inside had been completely emptied out. Nothing was left but fallen leaves scattered across the empty ground. You mean Shen Qingshan? Oh my goodness, that monster slaughtered 10 whole families in a single night. He was beheaded at the public market just last month. The county magistrate sentenced his entire extended family to exile. A neighbor looked you up and down, then asked, "How are you related to him?" I don't think I'm part of his extended family." How on earth did Shen Qingshan become a mass murderer? This third brother-in-law of mine, I distinctly remember him being a dignified, upstanding guy with an aura of absolute righteousness. Besides, he was a government official too. He was a demon slayer for the county's Demon Suppression Bureau. There has to be some false accusation here, but according to the laws of the Great Qian dynasty, my third sister must have been exiled too. Wait, based on the simulation's timeline, Shen Qingshan won't be executed for another year. I wonder if the crime has even happened yet in the real world. She's the only family I have left, I can't just leave her to die. But damn it, right now I can only worry from a distance. I can barely even keep myself alive. I still don't know when I'll ever escape the Black Stone Gang's control. Well, let's continue the simulation. You had no idea how the Great Qian dynasty defined extended family. Just to be safe, you gave yourself a brand new name. You called yourself Chen Dong. In order to make a living, you got a job as a waiter at the Yulai Inn in the county town. The boss lady was a widow, and she had a heart of gold. She took really good care of you, making sure you always had enough to eat. She never made your daily chores difficult or scolded you over little things. The customers, on the other hand, some of them would beat and curse at lowly mortals like you over the slightest disagreement. Especially those martial artists. They acted so high and mighty, treating ordinary folks like absolute dirt. Year 3, 20 years old, commencing trade draw. Draw successful. You received the white trait, husband material. You naturally give off a comforting, married man vibe. Your popularity with women has slightly increased. Would you like to adjust your traits? You replaced Ji Ni Tai Mei with husband material. A martial artist caused a huge scene at Yulai Inn just because his tofu pudding was salty. He broke your arm, and you were hurt pretty badly. The kind-hearted landlady helped bandage you up. Ah Dong, don't hold a grudge. For ordinary folks like us, we just have to keep our heads down around martial artists. Being alive at all is a sheer miracle. You grumbled indignantly, HMPH. Don't look down on a poor young man. Sooner or later, I, Chen Dong, will reach the absolute peak of martial arts. I'll crush the very heavens beneath my feet. The landlady gave you a playful, scolding slap. You can't even find a wife, yet you're bragging like this. The two of you locked eyes, and somehow, maybe that husband material charm finally kicked in. You two totally clicked. You could feel the fiery passion and desperate yearning in each other's eyes. Soon after, you and the landlady tied the knot. Just like that, you became the new boss of Yulai Inn. Overnight, your life went from the very bottom of society straight to the wealthy elite. Sure enough, marrying up and living off your wife is the ultimate shortcut. Who said white-tier traits were completely useless? I'd be the first to argue that. I really wonder what the landlady actually looks like. The simulation kept going, playing out year by year. Suddenly, amid the white text on the black background, a flash of green actually appeared. The trait turned green. Year 10, age 27. Even after years of marriage, you and the landlady are still as madly in love as ever. Respectful partners by day, and fiercely passionate by night. Thanks to a bit of modern management and scientific knowledge, you and the landlady kept the inn's business absolutely booming. It's just a shame that, as lowly mortals, there were some things you simply had to endure. Like robberies, looting, martial artists dining and dashing, and the government's extortionate taxes, just to name a few. Still, compared to most ordinary folks, your life was already infinitely better. The only real regret was your struggle to have a child. The landlady would often sigh and say how wonderful it would be to have a little one. Whenever she had free time, she'd sit there doing needlework, just staring blankly at the little tiger head shoes she had carefully stitched by hand. You comforted her, telling her that these things happen when they're meant to, and that having a child is all about fate. Year 11, age 28. Starting the trade draw. Draw successful. Lucky in old age, green tier, starting from age 60. Every decade when you draw a trait, you are guaranteed a rare trait. Plus, that specific draw, will slightly boost the chances of getting a rare trait or higher. Would you like to adjust your traits? After being stuck with white traits for so many years, I finally got a green one. Though honestly, if we look at the actual odds, this draw was insanely lucky. After all, the drop rate for rare traits is currently just 0.9%. I can just wait until I'm 60 to actually equip this trait. Getting a guaranteed rare is pretty sweet. In the simulations that followed, I saw just how incredibly tough it was for me, a mere mortal. Trying to survive in a chaotic world overrun by arrogant martial artists, rampaging demons, and endless, brutal wars. Year 13, age 30. That year, you and the landlady finally conceived a child. The landlady wept tears of absolute joy, and you were completely thrilled for her. Year 14, age 31. It was a baby boy. You Lai-in hosted a massive, open-door banquet for 3 straight days, inviting every single person in town to come and celebrate. Honey, you're being way too extravagant. I know we've saved up a bit of money over the years, but there are always so many risks out there. Ha ha ha, I'd rather spend it like this than let some filthy thieves steal it, or watch the greedy magistrate tax it away over some made-up nonsense. I'd rather spend it on pure joy. Besides, my son, Chen Dong's own flesh and blood, has finally been born. How could I not announce it to the whole town? Ah Dong, you're getting carried away again. We're just ordinary people. Don't look down on a poor middle-aged man. I, Chen Dong, am destined for greatness. Year 16, age 33. Your second daughter was just born. You threw another massive, open house banquet, celebrating for 3 whole days. The 20th year, you were 37. With both a son and a daughter, a thriving business, and a comfortable life. Gradually, you almost forgot you were even in a simulation. It all just felt so incredibly real, and so perfectly happy. The 23rd year, you were 40. A dark arts martial artist violently breached Baiyun County. Wielding a cursed, black smoking banner, he slaughtered absolutely everyone in his path. The local guards and fighters were completely outmatched. He massacred them all, sucking their souls straight into his cursed banner. This alerted the demon hunt envoys, who engaged him in a brutal, days-long battle. They finally managed to critically wound him, almost at the cost of their own lives. But as the dark martial artist fled, he struck down your daughter in passing, violently draining every last drop of her lifeblood. Your wife was utterly devastated and fell deathly ill. You held her hand, helpless as you watched her slip away. You buried the mother and daughter side by side, staring at those 2 lonely, freshly dug graves. Your heart shattered completely. You felt like you couldn't go on living. But you still had your son. You knew you couldn't just give up. The 33rd year, you were 50. A brilliantly ruthless empress rose to power in the southern frontier, uniting all its fragmented nations. She twisted the 100 scattered southern kingdoms into a single, unstoppable force, and launched an invasion on the central plains. The war front pushed relentlessly northward. Soon, Baiyun County was on the verge of becoming the front lines. Your son decided to march to the battlefield to defend his homeland. Son, do you really have to go? The battlefield is just too dangerous. Father, if our country falls, what happens to our home? Ever since I was little, you always told everyone, my son, Chen Dong's boy, is destined for greatness. Now is my time to make my mark. You walked your son out of the city gates, watching his figure slowly disappear into the distance. In that fleeting moment, you seemed to age decades. The 35th year, you were 52. You received your son's ashes and his final letter. 2 whole years of living in agonizing terror had finally culminated in this nightmare. You laid him to rest right beside his mother and little sister. You sat numbly by their graves for 3 whole months, until your hair turned completely white. The 37th year, you were 54. The Great Qian dynasty suffered defeat after defeat. Baiyun County eventually fell to the Empress's army. It became the territory of the Southern Frontier Alliance. As the old saying goes, bandits leave you poor, but armies leave you with nothing. When the Southern Army marched through Baiyun County, they went door to door, ruthlessly extorting money and food. They called it borrowing, but everyone knew they'd never see it again. Your inn wasn't spared, either. Almost all the money you had out in the open was looted. Thank God your wife had once told you that she had buried a secret stash of silver right under the old tree in your courtyard. By rationing it carefully, you barely managed to scrape by. But after that devastating raid, Everyone in Bayonne County was dead broke. Keeping the inn afloat became harder every single day. The 40th year, you were 57. A ferocious tiger demon tore out of the wilderness, crashing straight into Bayonne County. It went on an absolute rampage. The demon hunt envoys mobilized their entire force, engaging the beast in a desperate, to the death battle right inside the city. You had no idea if they actually managed to kill the tiger demon. But during that chaotic showdown, they completely leveled your 3-story inn to rubble. That was your most valuable asset, completely wiped out. You were furious and wanted answers. You marched right up to the demon hunt division to demand compensation. Before you could even see which way the front doors opened, they beat you violently to the ground. Defeated, you chose to leave Bayonne County behind forever. You moved outside the city walls, right next to your family's graveyard. You threw together a small thatched hut and settled down there. With zero aptitude for martial arts, all you could do was wait in silence, praying that the system would finally roll a martial arts trait for you. The 42nd year, you were 59, rolling for traits. Yet again, the traits you pulled this year were utterly useless. Back in the real world, I let out a long, heavy sigh. The sheer misery unfolding inside that simulator. To show me the cruelty of this world, I equipped the trait. The older, the luckier. I'm almost 60 years old. This life has been way too hard. Hang in there, don't fall apart. The dawn of victory might just be tomorrow. Simulation continues by the thatched hut outside the city. You work from sunrise, plowing the fields and growing vegetables. After sunset, you chat with your family, and then fall into a deep sleep under the moonlight. Although you are lonely, you have found a brief moment of peace. Year 43, age 60. Commencing trait extraction. Extraction successful. Low-tier bone structure. Green rarity. You have obtained low-tier bone structure. Young man, with this trait, you can finally pull off an underdog comeback. Would you like to equip this trait? You click yes. A wave of heat instantly surges through your entire body. You haven't forgotten your mission for this simulation. Grabbing every last penny of your savings, you arrive at the Thunder Martial Arts dojo in town. Instructor Niu Dan stands there in his training uniform, his hands clasped behind his back. He looks at you, amused. Old man, stop messing around. Learning martial arts at 60? 60? This is the perfect age to grind. You dump a huge pile of silver ingots right at the dojo's entrance. I'm paying the fee, your job is just to teach me. Taking in a disciple old enough to be his own father is definitely a massive challenge for Niu Dan. But man, you just offered way too much money. The path of martial arts is all about cultivating the 3 chis. First is blood chi. As the saying goes, you take it one bite at a time. The 3 chis must be trained one by one. Beginners must first master physical conditioning. Training your body boosts your blood chi, and the stronger your blood chi, the more your strength, speed, and physical body will level up. Once you can feel a warm current forming in your dantian, that means your blood chi has surpassed human limits and can now be stored in your dantian. Amateurs love calling this warm current inner energy, but we martial artists need to know that it is actually blood chi, grown strong enough to be controlled. This is the very first stage of martial arts, the body tempering stage. Year 43, age 61. You've trained for a whole year, with absolutely zero progress. Niu Dan tries to talk you out of it. Uncle Chen, just give it up. An aging body loses blood chi way too fast. There's just no logic in you practicing martial arts. The other students in the dojo, and the people around town who know you, are all whispering and pointing fingers behind your back. They say you're delusional, that you're too restless for an old man. You completely ignore the gossip of outsiders, focusing your entire mind on training and testing yourself. Never underestimate a poor old man. I, Chen Dong, will absolutely step into the martial path. Year 52, age 70. Extracting trait. Triggered the 10-year guaranteed green rarity pity system of the older, the luckier. Extraction successful. Hard work pays off. When you persistently dedicate yourself to a single task, you will absolutely see results, though maybe not a lot. You swapped out the older, the luckier for hard work pays off. 10 years of training, and you're still just an ordinary mortal. Heck, Niu Dadan's grandson has even been born. Yet every single day, you still show up at the Thunder Dojo's training grounds, working incredibly hard on your forms. Unlike the others who learn multiple techniques and spar in actual combat, you're basically playing solo. You only train one single physical technique, the Wild Bull Force. It's been 10 years, though your blood chi has improved, it still doesn't meet the standard of a martial artist. At first, Niu Dadan still collected your tuition fees, but eventually, he just let it slide. Respect the elderly, right? After all, having an old man around is like having a family treasure. With a mascot like you around, the Thunder Dojo has actually become a popular tourist spot for the surrounding villages. It ended up being free advertising for the martial arts school. Look here, everyone, this is the man who started practicing martial arts at the age of 60. Now, at 70, Grandpa Chen Dong still hasn't managed to break through into the martial path. Niu Dadan's son, Niu Yuqian, is now the master of the Ben Lei Martial Arts School. He mainly handles recruiting new apprentices. Today, another fresh batch just arrived. Niu Yuqian is using you as a prime example to pump up the newcomers. What can we learn from Grandpa Chen? Exactly. Whether you succeed in martial arts or not, you still have to take that very first step. Even if you end up like him, stuck in the exact same place at 70, at least you'll never regret having tried. Right as he said that, you, in the middle of your training, suddenly felt a warm current rising in your dantian. You broke through to the body refining realm. Seeing this happen right before his eyes, Niu Yuqian instantly changed his tune. Exactly. Grandpa Chen started his martial arts journey at 60, and he still managed to succeed. You 13 and 14-year-old kids, what excuse do you have? There is nothing impossible in this world, if you just put your mind to it. Hearing the news that you had finally stepped onto the martial path, Niu Dadan was genuinely thrilled for you. That night, he invited you to stay at the dojo for a family dinner. Grandpa Chen, I've actually heard about your past. Back in the day, the food at Yu Lai Inn was famous all across the neighboring towns. It's such a pity, reaching the heartbreaking parts of your story, even as an outsider. Niu Dadan's eyes teared up hearing what you'd been through. I don't know why you're still pushing yourself so hard at your age. Coming all the way here to train, but I genuinely wish you a long life of 100 years and good health. From now on, this dojo is your home. I'll set up a small room for you. You can just stay right here. For the first time in over a decade, you finally felt the warmth of a real home again. That night, you slept more peacefully than ever. But you still hadn't forgotten your ultimate mission in this life. Draw as many traits as possible. Train hard, because the more you can inherit after this simulation ends, the better. You knew your natural aptitude was terrible, and being so old, your cultivation speed was painfully slow. So you didn't waste time trying to learn complex martial techniques. You only practiced external arts to build up your physical vitality. Year after year passed, training at sunrise, resting at sunset. You balanced your hard work with rest, prioritizing your health above all. Year 61, age 79, after stepping onto the martial path, your cultivation grew at a snail's pace. It took you 9 long years just to reach the 3rd stage of body refining. Although you hadn't faced any demons, wars, or martial disasters all these years, your aging body still uncontrollably slid into the abyss of decay. A sudden, severe cold ended up leaving you paralyzed in bed. You even needed someone to take care of your daily meals and basic needs. You simply couldn't train anymore. Niu Dadan had grown old, too, and the dojo's business took a massive hit from the rise of major martial sects. They couldn't recruit any new apprentices. The place was already on the verge of shutting down completely. Today, hearing that your condition had worsened, he rushed over to check on you. Grandpa Chen, how are you feeling today? You forced a smile that looked even more painful than crying. I'm dying soon. You stared blankly at the countdown timer for your next trade draw floating in front of your eyes. You just prayed that you could hold on a little longer. Just long enough to hit that 80-year-old guaranteed draw. Don't say things like that. You're going to live to be 100. Dadan, my boy. Living to 100 isn't that easy. I lost my wife in my middle age. I had to bury my own child. And my life's work, completely destroyed in a single day. My heart, it's been shattered into a million pieces for a long time now. Niu Dadan looked out at the falling snow and sighed deeply. Grandpa Chen, in this life, suffering is just the main theme of our days. Happy moments are nothing more than short interludes. Year 62, age 80, commencing trade draw. Triggered the guaranteed draw. The older, the luckier. Draw successful. Serious punch, green tier. When you fight without using martial arts, and just rely on basic punches and kicks, your destructive power increases up to 10 times. Plus, you won't break your bones from the recoil, but you'll lose a strand of hair every single time. Watching my simulator self barely hanging on by a thread, pushing all the way to 80 years old. I just felt a lump in my throat. That lifetime was honestly just too damn miserable. Hopefully, with a martial arts foundation in my next life, the simulation will be a lot smoother. Simulation complete. Evaluation. Plunging into the freezing river's raging waves, the mortal realm buries the flickering lamp time and time again. At 60, the withered branch finally meets the spring breeze, still raising a fist to roar at the heavens. Congratulations, you have inherited the following. 1. 62 years of traveling memories. 2. Body refining third stage cultivation. Here is the loot. Older and luckier, green tier. Low tier bone structure, green tier. G-knee tie, white tier. 4. Outer skill, wild bull energy, entry level. The rewards hit me instantly. I immediately felt a warm current surging from my dantian. My entire body was freed from all that exhaustion and pain. I felt like I had endless strength. My spirit and energy were completely revitalized. Black Tiger Gang, I'm freaking coming for you. Now that I've broken through to the body refining stage, my equipable trait slots have increased to 5. After thinking it over for a second, I equipped my 5 trait slots in the simulator with low-tier bone structure, serious punch, hard work pays off, and Super Beast's pain receptor. System. When does the next simulation start? System prompt. Simulation on cooldown. 1 year remaining. System prompt. You can choose to complete the following guidance quest to instantly earn a simulation attempt. Guidance quest. If you can't beat them, join them. Reveal your martial artist cultivation and infiltrate the Blackstone gang, so you can wait for a chance to escape. Quest rewards. 1. Simulation attempt +1. 2. Premium trade draw +1. 3. 1 low-tier spirit weapon, the Flame Iron Heavy Sword. Man, mythical traits really are straight-up cheat codes. I can earn a new simulation attempt and grab some extra rewards on the side. That 1 year cooldown is way too long. I can't afford to wait around. Besides, the quest objectives perfectly match my current situation anyway. The Blackstone gang has their own martial artists. If I just dive into the river and try to swim for it right now, those guys would just chase me down on boats. There's no guarantee I'd get away. Unless I sacrifice Da-chun again. No, it's better to fake my loyalty and join the Blackstone gang first. Then, I can wait for the perfect moment to bust Da-chun out of here with me. Mind made up, I immediately hurled my old porcelain bowl right into the dirt. Steamed buns and watery porridge every single damn day. And it's not even enough to fill our stomachs. Even a frail scholar would starve to death on this trash, let alone us heavy laborers. The surrounding laborers were absolutely stunned. Every single one of them stared at me with wide eyes. Has Chen Yi lost his mind? Does he want to get whipped to death? Well, he is new here. He clearly doesn't know how ruthless the Black Tiger Gang can be. Look out, the overseer is coming over with his whip. All the frantic whispering from the workers had caught the overseer's attention. Chen Yi, what the hell do you think you're doing? Before the overseer could even finish, Da-chun smashed his bowl too. Da-chun, what the hell are you doing now? Da-chun flashed a goofy, toothy grin and yelled. I don't know what I'm doing, but I really just wanted to smash my bowl. The overseer cracked his whip, sending Da-chun flying off to the side. You absolute moron, he cursed at Da-chun, then immediately lashed his whip viciously straight at my face. His movements looked like they were in slow motion to me. I simply reached out and caught the whip mid-air, and snatched it right out of his hands. He clearly didn't expect me to fight back. Shocked and furious, he roared, "Give me back that whip. Are you trying to start a rebellion? A rebellion? You think you're worthy of using that word? Do you really see yourself as some kind of absolute king around here?" I backhanded the whip right across the overseer's body. The raw power of the body refining third stage fully erupted. With just one strike, he was sent flying backward and crashed right into the Qing River. Seeing this, Foreman Wang Cheng let out a cold sneer. Well, Chen Yi. So you actually got some skills. If I don't teach you a hard lesson today, you'll never learn to obey." Saying that, he took a stance, showing off his martial arts cultivation. Judging from the blood chi floating around Wang Cheng's body, he was merely at level 1 of body refinement. In the body refinement realm, every time you level up, your blood chi doubles. So, I wasn't worried at all. Knowing he was no match, Wang Cheng tried to act tough and barked, "Chen Yi. Don't you go crazy, this is the territory of the Black Stone Gang. Do you even know who our boss is? That's Shi San, known in the underworld as the Black Blood Iron Hand." I couldn't be bothered with his crap, so I just slapped him right across the face. "That's for acting like a bossy lapdog." I followed up with a heavy backhand slap. "And that's for cutting our food rations." Wang Cheng started begging for mercy, crying and screaming. "I know I was wrong. Please, stop hitting me." I gave him 2 more heavy slaps. "That's for forcing us to sign those slavery contracts. The gang made me do it. Spare my life, great hero. Please spare me." I didn't buy his bullshit for a second. I slammed him to the ground. "And that's for trying to feed me to the monsters." "But I never did that. You're totally framing me." I got a bit carried away and counted what happened in the simulator. "So what if I'm framing you?" Hearing this, Wang Cheng wanted to cry but had no tears left. The commotion at the docks drew the attention of Shi San, the boss of the Black Stone Gang. Beside him stood a burly man, the 4th boss. Seeing my impressive skills, the 2 of them decided to recruit me. Shi San suggested that the 4th boss should test my strength. I threw a serious punch. With 10 times my normal power, I forced the level 6 body refinement 4th boss to stagger back repeatedly. But that was my limit. "Good, you've got spirit." Honestly, in a life or death fight, I couldn't beat the 4th boss. Let alone the unfathomable Shi San. But Shi San was quite satisfied with my strength. He immediately made me the drill master for the new recruits, making me an official executive in the gang. As for Wang Cheng, for suppressing real talent, they threw him into the Qing River to feed the fishes. That night, the Black Stone Gang threw a welcome banquet for me. During the feast, a gang member reported to Shi San, "Tomorrow is the 15th, it's time to feed the river god. Have Old 4 head down to the docks tonight and pick out a few laborers." "Oh, right, I remember there's a village idiot down there, right? He eats way too much anyway. Make sure he goes." Hearing this, I completely froze. The plot had changed. This time, it was Da Chun's turn to be fish food. "Boss, that fool is from my hometown. He's super clumsy. If you have any tasks, just let me handle them. He'll just mess it up." I used my fake drunkenness to test the waters. But Shi San frowned and said, "For this specific task, that fool is perfectly suited. Just relax and focus on being my drill master. Come on, drink up." Seeing that Shi San had already made up his mind, I didn't push it any further. I knocked back a few more cups, then lied and said I was too drunk. I excused myself from the table. Once back in my room, I locked the doors and windows, and opened the system interface. The system interface popped up. Tutorial quest completed. Reward acquired. The Flame Iron Heavy Sword. Simulator cooldown refreshed. Would you like to start the simulation? Start simulation. Simulation starting. In order to successfully escape the Blackstone Gang's control with Da Chun, you intentionally showed off your martial arts skills, earning yourself a spot in the gang. You became one of their drill masters. However, you had zero interest in living the gang life. Your only goal was to find a chance to break free. Next day, just before the crack of dawn, you saw the 4th boss leading a few of his lackeys. They were taking Da Chun and a few other laborers, walking downstream along the banks of the Azure River. You knew this 4th boss was easy to fool, so you told him you just couldn't sleep. You said you wanted to tag along, just to take a walk. The 4th boss didn't think much of it and let you come with them. Before long, the group arrived at the 10-mile pavilion. The 4th boss shoved Da Chun and the other 3 right up to the edge of the river. Then, he cupped his hands and yelled out over the water, "Oh, mighty river god. We brought you your meals. Eat up and enjoy yourself." You noticed the gang members who came along instinctively taking a few steps back. They were clearly terrified of this river god. Meanwhile, the three clueless laborers were still holding their lunchboxes. They actually thought they were just here to deliver the food, having no idea that they were the food. The calm surface of the Azure River suddenly began to churn into a massive whirlpool. Fish and shrimp started leaping frantically out of the water, as if something absolutely terrifying was lurking down below. They were too scared to stay under. Right at that moment, you, standing right behind the fourth boss, quietly channeled all your strength into your right leg, and delivered a vicious kick. With a heavy thud, the fourth boss went flying right into the river, sending up a massive splash. Instructor Chen, what the hell are you doing? Three of the gang members immediately surrounded you, but facing their drawn blades, you just cracked a smile. With your current level of cultivation, dealing with a bunch of gang members who weren't even martial artists was an absolute piece of cake. One by one, you grabbed them and tossed every single one of them right into the river. The guys from the Black Stone gang knew exactly what was waiting for them in that water. They started swimming frantically back toward the shore. Chen Yi, I can't believe you set me up. Just wait until I get back up there, I'm gonna skin you alive. The fourth boss was still screaming threats, but it was as if a giant pair of hands underneath the water was dragging them down. No matter how hard they swam, they weren't getting any closer to the shore. Instead, they were being pulled right into the center of the river. Accompanied by a deep, guttural roar, a massive beast slowly breached the surface. Its body looked just like a giant turtle, but its tail was a slithering snake. The moment he saw the monster, the fourth boss started screaming in pure panic. River God, you've got it all wrong. We're not your food for this month. Those guys up on the shore are. I'm the fourth boss of the Blackstone gang. Please, just look closely. Unfortunately for him, the giant beast's eyesight clearly wasn't that great. It couldn't make out his face at all, and just saw him as a tasty little snack. The monster opened its massive, bloodthirsty jaws, lunged at the fourth boss, and swallowed him whole in a single bite. The fourth boss completely taken care of, the system popped up with three options once again. Option 1. Take Da Chun and roam the martial world, looking for more cultivation opportunities. Option 2. Take Da Chun to Baiyun County and find shelter with third sister. Option 3. Go back to the Black Stone gang and tell them the river monster went completely crazy and ate the fourth boss. I hesitated for a second, but option 3 was obviously just there as a joke. I might as well head over to check on third sister. Plus, there was a pretty good spot in Baiyun County where I could settle Da Chun down. I went with option 2, and the simulation continued. After you and Da Chun escaped from the Black Stone gang, you headed straight toward Baiyun County. Your journey back home this time around felt a whole lot easier. After all, you were now a powerful martial artist at the third stage of body refining. Ordinary wild beasts and highway robbers didn't pose the slightest threat to you anymore. Just as you were about to reach Baiyun County, you ran into a familiar face. I planted this mountain, I opened this tree, the classic messed up catchphrase, and that familiar, stout, bucket-shaped beauty. This totally random encounter really left you not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Well, aren't you a handsome little gentleman? Seeing a bunch of ruthless outlaws like us who live on the bleeding edge. And you're not even the slightest bit scared? You can actually still smile? Scared silly, huh? Shu Linglong is still falling for you at first sight. Those big eyes of hers are working overtime to charm you. Good thing you still have the simulation memories from your past life. So you know that among these bandits blocking the road, only Shu Linglong has reached level 4 of body refining. The rest of them are just ordinary folks. You walk up to a large tree by the road and smash your fist right into the trunk. The trunk absolutely shatters. Boosted by your serious punch, this strike packs the power of a level 5 body refining. Shu Linglong is completely terrified by you. We have offended you, senior. Please forgive us. Here is some silver. If you need it for your journey, senior, please take it. You chuckle and take the silver. Only an absolute fool turns down free money. For the sake of this silver, I'll give you a heads up. Keep a close eye on your second in command when you get back. There's something wrong with him. Shu Linglong looks totally confused, completely unsure why you'd suddenly bring up her vice chief. You seem to know her stronghold's inner workings perfectly. Without another word, you take Da Chun and continue on your way. Along the way, you can't stop thinking, since you didn't end up falling into the bandit lair in this simulation. You'll arrive at third sister's house much earlier than last time. You should be able to figure out what exactly happened to your brother-in-law, right? In the previous simulation, your brother-in-law, Shen Qingshan, somehow turned into a bloodthirsty maniac. He got his head chopped off by the authorities, his house was confiscated, and his whole family was exiled. This whole thing seriously baffled you. Third sister's taste in men couldn't possibly be that horrible, could it? The very next day, you and Da Chun arrive in Xian County and find third sister's house. Thank goodness, you don't see a police seal on the door this time. You let out a long sigh of relief and push the door open. In the courtyard, there's a babbling toddler, maybe 2 or 3 years old. Third sister, Chen Yun, is hanging up laundry in the yard. You don't interrupt, just standing there watching her quietly. It isn't until she finishes hanging up the very last piece of clothing that she turns around and spots you. In an instant, tears stream down her face. She had already heard the tragic news of the massacre at Lading village, and assumed you had been brutally murdered under the butcher's blade, just like the rest of the villagers. Seeing you alive today, she weeps tears of absolute joy. Third sister whips up a massive table full of food. To celebrate your family reunion, your brother-in-law, Shen Qingshan, comes home, and seeing that you're actually still alive, his eyes well up with tears too. Da Chun is stuffing his face, his mouth covered in grease from the feast. He is absolutely thrilled. For Da Chun, as long as he has a full stomach, he has zero other desires in life. He'd be perfectly content just watching ants climb a tree from dawn till dusk. The following day, you take Da Chun to the Yulai Inn. Are you getting a quick bite or booking a room, sir? The boss lady is just as warm and welcoming as always. Boss lady, I'd like to introduce my brother here to work as a handyman for you. He might be a bit slow, so he can't handle anything complicated. Washing dishes and sweeping floors is no problem for him at all. Plus, he's got brute strength. You can easily toss some heavy lifting his way. The boss lady takes one look at Da Chun, and says, looking a bit conflicted, Mei Sananang, might have a kind heart, but if he's not quite right in the head, I'm afraid. Seeing her hesitate, you quickly cut in. He doesn't want a salary. Just make sure he's fed, and that's enough. The boss lady lights up with pleasant surprise. Well, I'm afraid I'd feel downright guilty if I didn't hire him to work here now. You know Mei Sananang has a wonderful character. She definitely won't mistreat Da Chun. Setting him up at the Yulai Inn is the absolute perfect arrangement. Back at third sister's house, you and Shen Qingshan start chatting about martial arts. Upon learning that you possess an innate talent for it, Shen Qingshan pulls out some manuals and hands them to you. These are my Shen family's ancestral cultivation methods, he says. Sadly, too many of them have been lost by my generation. These 4 books are all that's left. However, these are all mid-tier techniques. If you fully master them, here in this little county town, landing a good job will be a total breeze. These manuals look incredibly ancient, yet radiate a grand aura. You can tell at a glance that they are far from ordinary. Over the next little while, you begin your training at third sister's place. But you really don't want to just idle away at your sister's house all day long. You still need to find something to do, Shen Qingshan suggested. You could take the Demon Slayer Bureau's assessment, and work there just like me. You also asked Shen Qingshan about the massacre at Lading village, wondering if the local authorities had dug up any clues. Shen Qingshan had absolutely zero leads. The attackers knew exactly what they were doing, and every single one of them was highly trained. They didn't leave a single trace behind. That night, you tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Why slaughter Lading village? It was just a rundown little mountain village. A bunch of starving farmers. How on earth could they provoke that kind of enemy? You stayed at your third sister's place for 1 year, practicing martial arts with your brother-in-law. Although your cultivation realm didn't go up, your techniques definitely improved. Over that 1 year, the traits you pulled were still pretty useless, but your understanding of martial arts grew much deeper. For ordinary people, the martial path has 6 realms: body forging, spirit gathering, soul tempering, golden body, spirit sea, and mind condensation. Why say for ordinary people? Because any realm above mind condensation has absolutely nothing to do with commoners. Anyone who manages to reach the mind condensation realm is already a 1 in a million genius. As for the quality of martial techniques, they are divided into low, mid, high, earth, and heaven tiers. Honestly, you can just pretend earth and heaven tier techniques don't even exist. Every single one of them is treated as a strategic resource, heavily guarded by the royal family and top martial factions. Year 2, at 19 years old, thanks to Shen Qingshan's recommendation, you joined the Demon Slayer Bureau's selection trials in White Cloud County. Out of all the martial artists taking the test, your cultivation realm was basically dead last, but you had your serious punch. During the matches, your opponents would constantly get caught off guard by that single punch and get knocked completely senseless. So, you easily made it into the Demon Slayer Bureau. You officially became a Demon Slayer and finally secured a stable income. However, Demon Slayers weren't official government staff, it was more like contract work. You had to reach the rank of Demon Envoy, like Shen Qingshan, to actually get your name on the Imperial Court's roster and become an official government employee. You joined Shen Qingshan's squad, spending your days working under your brother-in-law. Whenever you were free, you'd ask him for martial arts advice, which was super convenient. Then one day, Shen Qingshan got an assignment from the Bureau. An ox demon was wreaking havoc in Fire Brilliance Village, east of White Cloud County. The Bureau chief ordered Shen Qingshan to lead a team to wipe it out. Your squad of demon slayers rode out of the city and arrived at Fire Brilliance Village. Riding into the village, everything looked perfectly peaceful. The elderly and the children were all happy and relaxed. It didn't look like a demon attack at all. You guys split up to investigate. Faintly, you heard someone screaming for help. "Help me." You immediately chased after the sound, shoving open the heavy doors of a courtyard. The first thing you saw were the villagers' bodies, scattered everywhere in a bloody mess. The air reeked of fresh blood. Suddenly, a dark shadow lunged out from the corner. Pure instinct took over, and you drew your sword to block. The attacker's strength was absolutely terrifying, and its body felt as hard as solid steel. Before you could even figure out what the hell this thing was, it slammed you straight to the ground. You didn't know if it was a sick coincidence, but the longsword in your hand ended up plunged deep into one of the corpses. Right at that exact moment, loud, heavy footsteps erupted outside the courtyard. Han Sheng, the head constable of the county office, rushed in with 20 of his men right behind him. "You're an officer of the law, yet you break it. You just slaughtered 3 households in Fire Brilliance Village, 18 innocent lives. Such a monstrous crime. Drop your weapon and surrender." In a flash, you realized the horrific truth. This was a setup, a brutal trap that was originally meant for Shen Qingshan. The exact same Shen Qingshan, the bloodthirsty maniac incident you saw in the last simulation. But this time, by some twisted stroke of luck, the blame fell squarely on you. To manipulate both the Demon Slayer Bureau and the constables at the same time. Only the county magistrate had that kind of power in White Cloud County. You suddenly realized that the magistrate himself was the mastermind behind all this. Han Sheng was a martial artist too, at the spirit gathering realm, just like Shen Qingshan. With a single move, he instantly pinned you down. Shen Qingshan and your squad rushed in. Seeing what was happening, they immediately blocked Han Sheng's path. Tensions flared as both sides drew their weapons. One wrong word, and a bloodbath was about to break out. "Commander Shen, what the hell are you doing?" A figure descended from the sky. The newcomer was Feng Yu Cheng, chief of the Baiyun County Demon Extermination Bureau. His martial arts prowess was second to none in Baiyun County, having already reached the soul-tempering realm. With Feng Yu Cheng stepping in, Shen Qingshan knew there was no way he could save you today. "Don't worry, little brother, your brother-in-law won't abandon you. I swear I'll appeal to the magistrate and get you the justice you deserve." Knowing full well this was a trap, you urged him, "Brother-in-law, leave me out of this. Just keep my sister and my niece safe." Since this was just a simulation anyway, you weren't scared of dying. Down in the county dungeons, you were strapped to a torture rack. Before you lay a horrifying array of torture devices, branding irons, bullwhips, knives, bone-crushing axes, and a bed of nails. Chen Yi, I highly suggest you come clean. Confess to your crimes right now, or else. I did it. I killed them all, every single fucking one of them. Where's the confession? You guys already wrote it up, right? Bring it here, let me sign it, we're all busy people. You knew damn well you wouldn't survive the brutal torture anyway. So you figured you'd just confess early and save yourself the agony. Han Sheng pulled out the paperwork, still going through the motions. "Chen Yi, do you plead guilty to the Huo Wang village murders?" "Yep, The home invasion and murder in Shiping village, do you plead guilty? The slaughter of the plowing oxen in Guangtian village, do you plead guilty? Yes, whatever, just speed it up. You're just pinning unsolved cases on me to clear your backlog. I get it. Demon Extermination Bureau. A few days later, court was in session. Demon Extermination Bureau. That fat, pig-headed magistrate sat high at the bench. Demon Extermination Bureau. They went through the motions, and finally sentenced you to military exile. You were actually pretty surprised. Normally this would definitely be a beheading. Just like Shen Qing Shan in the previous simulation. The magistrate noticed your confusion, and said dismissively, "Tensions have been high at the southern border lately. Demon Extermination Bureau, His Majesty, in his infinite mercy, Demon Extermination Bureau, has decreed that any capital offenses, New Extermination Bureau, with extenuating circumstances, can be commuted to military exile. New Extermination Bureau, you figured it was because you helped this magistrate clear up so much of his unsolved case backlog, so that made it extenuating circumstances. The day you set off, Chen Yun and Shen Qing Shan brought their daughter to see you off. Your sister's family watched you leave. She was already crying her eyes out. Your innocent little niece waved at you, crying out, 'Come back soon, uncle. Come back and catch butterflies with me in the mountains.' Year 3, age 20. Commencing trade extraction. Extraction successful. Congratulations, you have obtained the legendary trait, photographic memory. You now possess a super memory. Everything you see and hear will be permanently burned into your mind. You used photographic memory to replace Dragon and Phoenix at play. Looks like you wouldn't get the chance to experience Dragon and Phoenix at play this time around either. You felt a deep sense of regret. 3 months later, you were escorted to the Southern Border Army. As a military exile, you were assigned to the labor camp. The dozen or so soldiers sharing your tent were also criminals sent into exile. They acted like total thugs, and whenever no one was watching, they were a completely undisciplined, chaotic mob. One of the veterans, a guy named Old Lu, was the boss of this tent. Seeing you, the new meat, he decided to put you in your place. "Hey, new guy, what did you do to end up here?" "Murder." "Oh yeah? How many did you kill?" "Over 100, I guess." Old Lu sneered and casually started digging through your belongings. He found your official sentencing documents inside. After reading them, he shot up, immediately made your bed perfectly, and casually swiped the blanket from the guy next to you to toss on your bed. "Boss Chen, you might not know this, but it gets pretty damn cold down south in the winter. Those bastards in logistics skim off the top. So there's barely any cotton left in the blankets they give us. You should take an extra one so you don't freeze." The guy whose blanket was snatched looked miserable. "Boss Lu, how am I supposed to sleep tonight? Who the hell are you calling boss? I'm number 2 now. From today on, we only have one boss here, and that's Boss Chen." Year 5, 22 years old. You've gradually gotten used to life in the military camp. Whenever you have free time, you quietly practice your martial arts. One day, while passing by the recruit camp, you saw a man with a pockmarked face. Your photographic memory allows you to remember the faces of everyone you've ever met. So you recognized him. You clearly remembered that a year ago, when you were ambushed by the Southern Border Army while marching, this pockmarked man was a horse archer in the enemy ranks. You secretly followed the pockmarked man. Observing his every move, you didn't even let the details of him showering, sleeping, or eating slip by. More than 10 days passed, and you finally discovered something. After the pockmarked man finished his training, you found out he volunteered to guard the gunpowder. You instantly knew exactly what he was planning. That night, it was pitch black and windy. Inside the armory where open flames were strictly forbidden, the pockmarked man sent the other guards away and sneaked in alone. Hee. This explosion will be more than enough to throw the Qian army into total chaos. Without gunpowder, their firearms will be completely useless. The elephant army of our great Miao kingdom will face no more resistance. The pockmarked man twisted a fuse with his hands, and tossed the torch onto it. Once it was lit, he quickly ran far away, crouching in the distance, waiting for the explosion. He stared at the armory, waiting and waiting, but the explosion never came. Just then, a soft chuckle suddenly echoed. "Are you wondering why it hasn't blown up yet?" Without waiting for the pockmarked man to react, you shouted sharply, "Take this spy down." Old Lu and the others immediately rushed forward. In the military tent, Sun Chenggen was both surprised and pleased. I didn't expect you conscripted chore soldiers to actually catch a spy. Sun Chengen glanced at you all, and said with a hint of pity, although you've done a great deed, I can't officially record your merit, because you all broke the law, and were banished here. You are essentially criminals. The laws of the Great Qian dynasty state that criminals cannot be awarded merits. Old Lu dropped to his knees right on the spot. General, actually, a lot of our brothers were framed back in our hometowns. Those local officials extort and rob people, making reckless judgments. They only bully us powerless, ordinary folks. Enough. I am not your county magistrate. I have no obligation to clear your names. As Sun Chengen raised his voice, the air pressure in the tent seemed to drop with it. No one inside even dared to breathe heavily. But don't feel too wronged either. I won't record your merits, but I can give you a reward. Sun Chengen waved his hand, and a lieutenant brought over some silver ingots. 1 piece for each of you. Do you want this reward? The simulation paused, waiting for me to make a choice on how to proceed. Option 1. Yes, only an idiot would turn down free money. Option 2. No, serving the country with absolute loyalty is what a citizen of the Great Qian dynasty should do. Option 3. No, but I want something else. Silver doesn't do much for the simulation, and serving the country is even more pointless. Option 3 isn't very direct, it's like a free play choice. Just to see how the story develops, right? This kind of option might be a bit risky. But Sun Chengen doesn't seem like an unreasonable guy. He wouldn't beat or kill someone just for saying the wrong thing. Choosing this might bring a pleasant surprise. I don't want the silver. This stuff is completely useless to me. Sun Chengen looked at you with a playful smile on his face. Then what is it that you want? Do you want to lead troops? I don't know the first thing about fighting a war. I want elixirs that can boost my cultivation. Sun Chengen gave a soft chuckle. He was very curious about how you managed to recognize the spy. You knew that Sun Chengen was starting to suspect you. After thinking for a moment, you decided to tell him the truth. I simply just have a really good memory. I don't believe it. Who on earth remembers exactly how many mouthfuls of porridge they ate for breakfast 3 months ago? Who remembers such trivial details? 19 mouthfuls. What's next? You accurately described exactly how many cloud patterns were on the old clothes Sun Chengen wore a year ago. Sun Chengen finally believed that you were naturally gifted. Born with a photographic memory, he was absolutely thrilled, and patted you heavily on the shoulder. He handed you a bronze seal. From today onwards, you are my military advisor. Although I cannot officially record your merits, I can take all your hard work and contributions, and exchange them for whatever elixir pills and prime stones you desire. You gladly agreed. You were incredibly satisfied to have an endless supply of elixir pills and prime stones to aid your cultivation. The elixir pills supplied in the army were of lower quality, containing a massive amount of pill toxins. Martial artists simply couldn't flush these toxins out naturally. When everyone saw you popping pills like crazy, they just assumed you had an unwavering dedication to martial arts. Little did they know, you were in a simulation. When the simulation ends, you only inherit the cultivation base, leaving all the pill toxins behind. In the following simulations, you completely thrived in the military camp. Photographic memory trait made you the most popular guy in the army. Officers from every battalion lined up daily, coming to you to solve their toughest problems. You were just like a massive database, able to organize all the data and intelligence across the entire camp. You were literally a walking AI. Sun Chengen was a man of his word. You played a massive role. But since he couldn't officially record your merits, he simply showered you with endless rewards. Elixir pills, spiritual weapons, and pure wealth. But Sun Chengen never rewarded you with women. He was different from other commanding generals. He never treated women as spoils of war. Every day, you played with prime stones in your hands like stress balls, casually tossing them away once you sucked dry their essence. You chewed on expensive elixir pills that boosted your cultivation speed as if they were just everyday snacks. Whenever you had free time, you'd pull out the daily military reports for a read. It was one of your few pastimes in the camp. You handed out spiritual weapons like cheap toys, giving away so many that a whole bunch of guys started calling you their godfather, swearing undying loyalty to you. And just like that, the notoriously harsh military life was completely turned into a relaxing vacation by you. Year 15, 32 years old. In the blink of an eye, you spent another 10 years in the military camp. Your trait system continued to function with steady reliability. rolling nothing but utterly useless white traits. Fortunately, with the help of a massive ocean of elixir pills and prime stones, your cultivation level skyrocketed. You had already reached the absolute peak of the 9th stage of body refining. You were just one step away from the spirit gathering realm. But man, you'd been stuck on this final step for 2.5 years. To make matters worse, the wars never stopped over these 2.5 years. The attacks from the Dashi kingdom in the southern frontier grew more ferocious every single time. Suzhou, Yan Pass, Sun Chenggen and his remaining 20,000 border troops were heavily besieged right here by the massive Dashi barbarian elephant army. This was a small fortress city, with towering walls and deep moats. It was easy to defend, hard to attack, and fully stocked with rations. Inside the general's manor, a group of heavily armored commanding officers crowded around the sand table, heatedly discussing the battle strategy. Vice General Zhang had the most explosive temper, repeatedly begging for battle. Advisor, those southern barbarians are outside the walls running their mouths again. Let me lead the charge. I'll stake my life on it with a military pledge. Hearing this, you frowned deeply. The Dashi elephant army. They wield 15-meter-long spiritual giant spears, riding atop monstrous barbarian elephants that are 6 meters tall. Even though they only have a few hundred riders, it's more than enough to crush our tens of thousands of infantry. Haven't our men suffered enough bloody losses at their hands already? The disparity in combat power between the two sides was overwhelmingly massive. A heavy atmosphere of despair began to spread across the room. You lightly waved your feather fan, speaking up to boost their morale. The number of elephant riders patrolling beneath our walls has noticeably dropped these past few days. Even the ones coming over to hurl insults. Well, those giant beasts are looking pretty sluggish and weak. I'm guessing these monstrous beasts simply can't handle the climate of the Central Plains. They must have caught some sort of disease. Sun Chenggen continued, but we also need to watch out. This could be a trap to lure us out. The Dashi army has pushed deep into our Suzhou territory. Their supply lines are stretched incredibly thin. As long as we hold our ground and refuse to engage, they'll be forced to retreat sooner or later. As you were all discussing military tactics and plotting how to ambush the enemy's supply routes, a soldier suddenly burst into the room. Report, an envoy from the royal court has arrived. He brings a golden imperial decree, commanding Sun Chenggen, commander of the Suzhou border army, to immediately march out, engage the Dashi army, and reclaim our lost lands. With that, the soldier offered up a crimson token with both hands. Sun Chenggen let out a heavy sigh and took it. This was already the 10th golden decree forcing you all into battle. The deputy general beside him scoffed coldly. What the hell is wrong with the emperor? He does nothing but pressure us to fight, yet we haven't seen a single drop of reinforcements. Sun Chenggen sighed again. Corrupt officials have seized power. They are blinding His Majesty. The emperor probably thinks we lost those dozen cities because our border army is full of cowards, that we gave them up on purpose. Sun Chenggen defied the imperial decree once again. He was caught in an impossible dilemma. He wanted to remain a loyal subject, but he couldn't just stand by and watch his brothers march out to die. Even though he was a powerful warrior in the absolute prime of his life, pure white strands of hair had begun creeping across his head. Sun Chenggen's agony finally came to an end 2 months later, when the royal court's imperial envoy arrived at Yan Pass. When the enemy forces besieging the city heard that the imperial envoy was there to force Sun Chenggen out to fight, they literally escorted him right to the gates in a luxurious 8-man sedan chair. Once the imperial envoy entered the pass, the defending soldiers knew exactly what he was there for, and gave him absolutely zero respect. This pissed the official off so much that he outright complained that his own people had worse manners than the enemy outside. That very day, the imperial envoy read the sacred edict aloud. It commanded that if Sun Chenggen refused to fight, the entire border army would be convicted of high treason. As night fell, inside the study, Sun's deputy general, and several trusted aides were summoned before him. Sun Chenggen looked at all of you with heavy, conflicted eyes. After a long, painful silence, he slowly spoke. Tomorrow, open the south gate. I will personally lead my guards into battle. The Dashi army has put a massive bounty on my head. As long as I show up, the enemy forces will definitely swarm me. When that happens, the rest of the soldiers will disguise themselves as civilians, mix in with the locals, and evacuate through the north gate. Deputy General Li shot up from his seat, furious. General, the Emperor is forcing you to march to your death. Why the hell are we still loyal to him? Let's rebel. The other trusted officers immediately roared in agreement. You were the only one watching from the sidelines in silence. Sun Chengen looked your way. Advisor Chen. Why so quiet? You let out a bitter smile. Because I know your true nature, General. You would rather die than become a traitor. You slowly stood up and continued. But General, even if we don't rebel, there's no reason to fight a battle you know will kill you. There are still other options. For instance, we could take that Imperial envoy. As you spoke, you drew your feather fan across your throat. Sun Chengen waved his hand, cutting you off. Enough. My mind is made up. There are some things that must be done, even when you know they are doomed to fail. Late that night, your mind was racing, making it impossible to sleep. Looking up at the moon, this vast, open world felt so incredibly real. You could clearly see the lands just beyond the city walls. The Dashi army was resting, quietly preparing for the final, bloody showdown tomorrow. Even their usually violent war elephants had gone completely silent, quietly building up their strength. Sun Chengen was a man you deeply respected. He led his troops with an iron discipline. His rules were absolute, and his strategies were godlike. With just 100,000 border troops, and completely cut off from reinforcements, they suffered 80,000 casualties. But they successfully blocked an offensive from a million-strong Dashi army, slaughtering over 300,000 of them. Tomorrow would be the final curtain call for this heroic general. With that weighing on your mind, how could you possibly sleep tonight? The very next day, the south gate was thrown wide open. Sun Chengen stood tall in his general's armor, gripping a massive 20-foot spear. Riding his fierce red warhorse, he led his loyal 800 personal guards. You savage invaders, I, Sun Chengen, stand right here. If you want a war, come and get it, but do not lay a single finger on the people of this city. All troops, charge. Sun Chengen took the lead. His personal guards followed right behind, charging straight into the enemy ranks. Sun Chengen was a soul condensation realm martial artist. Facing an army of thousands, he still slaughtered them with ease, as fierce as Zhao Zilong reincarnated. But very soon, several martial artists of the exact same level charged out from the enemy ranks. As they clashed, the collision of their martial arts sent shockwaves powerful enough to sweep away everything in all directions. No one else could even get close. Taking advantage of the weak defenses at the north gate, 20,000 soldiers stripped off their armor, put on ordinary clothes, and blended in with the civilians. Following Sun Chengen's orders, they evacuated through the north gate. After making it out of the city, a soldier asked you, Advisor Chen, "We've made it out of the city, so what's our next move?" The soldiers still hadn't realized that Sun Chengen's order for them to leave was simply to run for their lives. There was no next move. Your silence quickly made them realize the truth. Well, I, Li Go, can't believe that in this lifetime, I actually got a great general to cover my retreat. Ha ha ha, nobody back home would ever believe it anyway, so to hell with going back. If the general isn't leaving, then neither are we. Brothers, grab your weapons. The civilians continued to flee for their lives, but the soldiers chose to turn back. Even as their commanders shouted furiously and drew their execution swords to stop them, not a single soul listened. In the end, even those commanders charged right back into the fray with them. The Suzhou border army lives and dies together. Their fiery resolve ignited something in you, too. You tossed your feather fan aside, drew your longsword, and yelled, "Damn it all. So what if I miss out on a few trade rolls? I'm going all out." Just as you were about to charge into the battlefield, you saw two captains marching straight toward you. You recognized them. They were Sun Chengen's personal captains. Without a single word, the two of them hoisted you up by the arms. The general's orders: if the advisor overestimates his abilities and tries to join the fight, we are to drag you away by force. These two personal captains were both in the spirit-gathering realm. They carried you off like a helpless little chicken. Your fiery determination was instantly snuffed out by the two of them. Half a day later, after marching for over 30 li, you heard a familiar burst of laughter. You looked up and saw old Lu. Year 16, 33 years old, currently rolling for a new trait. Roll successful, spider sense, green rarity. When danger approaches, your hair will stand on end, and you'll break out in goosebumps. Would you like to adjust your traits? You swapped out hard work pays off for spider sense. Relying on your spider sense, you managed to anticipate and dodge danger multiple times. You and old Lu hid wherever you could, barely managing to scrape out alive from the battlefield. In this battle, the Suzhou border army was completely wiped out. Not a single civilian in Yan Pass was spared. After Sun Chenggen fell, the Dashi army faced no more obstacles. They marched straight in, conquering 31 cities across Suzhou in rapid succession. Witnessing this devastating scene, you were completely heartbroken, but absolutely powerless to stop it. You had no choice but to continue on your own martial arts journey. Old Lu had nowhere else to go, so he decided to tag along with you. Year 17, 34 years old, while wandering in search of a martial arts sect, the two of you made a detour to visit old Lu's hometown. Looking at the ruined, crumbling houses in his village, old Lu discovered a grim truth. As the only able-bodied young man in his family, just a few years after he was conscripted, his parents' property was ruthlessly seized by greedy relatives. His younger sister was even sold into a brothel, and passed away just a few years later. On that day, the usually laid-back and goofy old Lu completely vanished for 3 days. You knew he was grieving, so you didn't bother him. You went alone to a nearby town to gather some intel. In a local tea house, you overheard some scholars gossiping that the foolish emperor of the Daqin dynasty still refuses to believe Sun Chenggen is dead. Who knows where he's hiding to avoid the war? They even issued a nationwide arrest warrant for him, ordering the dragon guards across the entire country to hunt down just one man. Anyway, once the news spread that the Great Shi Empire had conquered Suzhou, yelling in the various nations of the southern border all raised their armies. They all wanted a piece of the rich and bountiful Central Plains. Seeing things go south, the royal court made a desperate decision. They would take Princess Hundred Flowers, whose beauty is known across the 5 domains, and marry her off to the king of Great Shi. They even agreed to cede parts of Suzhou's territory, just to stabilize the situation. Ceding land and marrying off a princess? Unbelievable. They've completely dragged our ancestors' honor through the mud. Ha, good smash. The tea house owner was quite a passionate guy, too. Any customer who smashed a bowl in anger over the court's humiliating surrender got their meal completely on the house. That day, the sound of shattering cups in the tea house never stopped. You let out a heavy sigh. This great Qian Empire is just like these shattered bowls. It's broken beyond repair. In this time of national turmoil, what path will you choose? Option 1. Gather righteous fighters and spark a rebellion. With your super memory, you could definitely make a name for yourself. Option 2. Continue searching for a martial arts sect and wander the world. Option 3. Find a place to settle down, farm, and just survive until old age takes you. With my current strength, starting a rebellion is just a death wish. So, option 1 is out. Option 3 is the safest bet, giving me the highest chance of living longer. But option 2, maybe I'll get a chance to score a spirit gathering pill? Yeah, I'll go with option 2. The simulation continues. You no longer care about the fate of the great Qian Empire. From now on, you just want to survive as long as possible. Roll for more traits, and find a martial arts sect willing to take you in and hand over a spirit gathering pill. Early the next morning, old Lu returned after being missing for 3 days. He looked as if he had aged 20 years overnight. You and old Lu hit the road again, traveling all over the Central Plains to visit various martial arts sects. You knew damn well that the major sects wouldn't accept a piece of trash in his 30s who hadn't even reached the spirit gathering realm. Your target was those small to mid-sized, newly established sects. They needed the manpower, and they still had some resources on hand. Year 18, you are 35 years old. You had already visited a few minor sects, but every single one slammed the door in your face. Kicked out again. How rude. You dusted yourself off and stood up, walking down the mountain looking completely pathetic. There was a village at the foot of the mountain, but the moment you got close, the heavy stench of blood hit your nose. You rushed into the village to look, and found that everyone in the entire village had been slaughtered. Their bodies were scattered haphazardly across the ground. Why is it happening again? Just yesterday when we stopped here to rest, everything was perfectly fine. You were absolutely stunned. This was the 4th time this year you'd stumbled upon a massacred village. It felt like a professional syndicate of killers was tailing you. Wherever you went, the slaughter followed. But the weirdest part? From beginning to end, your spider sense never triggered once. Old Lu tugged at your sleeve, clearly terrified. Boss Chen, Let's get out of here, fast. If the killers are still around, we're dead meat. You grunted in agreement. Let's move. What kind of messed up world is this? Won't they leave any way out for normal folks? Your own family had been wiped out by a mysterious group that massacred your village too. Seeing the tragic state of these people brought back painful memories, making your heart ache for them. Could the ones who massacred Ding Village and the butchers wiping out these villages this year be the exact same group? Year 23. You are 40 years old. You still haven't given up on finding a master. But as you get older, the chances of any sect taking you in are dropping closer and closer to zero. The side effects of popping too many pills back in your military days are finally catching up with you. The pill toxicity is trapped inside your body, slowly eating away at your vitality. It leaves you plagued by chronic coughing fits. One day, you and old Lu took a boat to the wind-soaring pavilion in Qingzhou. Baiyun County is also located within Qingzhou. Old Lu, if it doesn't work out this time, I'm just going back home to call it quits. We're pretty close to Xian County anyway. I figure I'll open up a martial arts dojo. Pass down the techniques those generals' personal guards taught me back in the day. You arrive at Lingfeng Pavilion. The main gates are wide open, and it's dead silent, but that familiar stench of blood drifts out from inside. Looking closer, you realize every single disciple in the pavilion has been slaughtered. You are absolutely horrified. Looking around, you can't help but feel that this quiet mountain ridge is hiding some endless, deadly intent. Old Lu runs out of a room, completely buzzing with excitement, holding 2 glowing blue pills in his hands. Boss Chen, look at this. Are these spirit gathering pills? You hold them up to the sunlight to get a good look. Yes, these really are spirit gathering pills. Old Lu is ecstatic. This is amazing. One for you, and one for me. I never thought I'd actually get the chance to reach the spirit gathering realm in this lifetime. Old Lu is a martial artist too, but he was only born with low-tier bone structures. He's been stuck at the 9th stage of body refining just like you, unable to break through. He's been hustling all these years just for a pill like this. At this moment, you don't even care about the corpses lying around anymore. All you want is to swallow that pill and break through your realm. After swallowing the spirit gathering pill, you immediately start circulating your energy. Under the pill's effects, your connection to the natural essence around you becomes incredibly sharp. The moment you channel your inner strength, your blood and energy surge wildly. The essence of heaven and earth automatically floods into your body. You are finally breaking through. This pathetic little black stone gang. Even their strongest leader is only at the 9th stage of body refining. Once I inherit this cultivation, I can come and go as I please. I could charge in and out 7 times over if I wanted to. Black Stone Gang, your final days are here. Ha ha ha, the simulation continues. After experiencing 2 simulations over 100 years, you have successfully broken through to the spirit gathering realm. High-tier trait drop rate has increased. Equipable trait slots increased by 2. After the breakthrough, your excited mind slowly starts to cool down. And suddenly, you realize a glaring issue. Old Lu, how exactly did you recognize the spirit gathering pill? This is your first time seeing one, right? Old Lu is still meditating with his eyes closed, seemingly deaf to your words. You start feeling that something is very, very wrong. Old Lu, I never told you what a spirit gathering pill looked like. Pushed by your demanding voice, Old Lu suddenly snaps his eyes open. At that exact moment, your spider sense goes absolutely crazy. The hair on the back of your neck stands straight up, and your whole body breaks out in goosebumps. You stumble back a few steps. The corners of Old Lu's mouth curl up into a cryptic, chilling smile. I didn't recognize the spirit gathering pill, but I could always ask them. Saying this, Old Lu points to the dead bodies scattered everywhere. Everything suddenly clicks. You roar in absolute disbelief. It was you. You slaughtered Lingfeng Pavilion, and you wiped out all those villages we passed through. But how could you possibly have that kind of power? I didn't used to, until 6 years ago. When I got my hands on this. Thick, unnatural black mist begins to leak out from Old Lu's body. A dark banner, billowing with black smoke, materializes right behind him. The 10,000 Souls banner. In the first simulation, it was this exact same year, when you were 40 years old. A demonic martial artist wielding the 10,000 Souls banner went on a massive massacre in Xian County, and murdered your daughter. Never in a million years would have guessed that the demon was Old Lu. Old Lu gently strokes the 10,000 souls banner, with a sickening look of absolute adoration on his face. Oh, does Boss Chen recognize my little treasure too? It truly is a masterpiece, its reputation really precedes it. Thinking back on all those slaughtered villages along your journey, you scream at him. Those villagers never did anything to you. How could you bring yourself to do it? Old Lu doesn't care in the slightest. His eyes gleam with a bloodthirsty light. As long as I feed the 10,000 souls banner, the banner feeds its cultivation right back into me. Even with my garbage potential, it only took me 6 short years to reach the soul-quenching realm. Old Lu stopped hiding his cultivation level. The aura of the soul-tempering realm was fully unleashed. The overwhelming true Kai pressed down so hard you couldn't breathe. You smiled bitterly. Don't be stupid. Look at your hair. It's not feeding energy back to you, it's using you. That's an evil artifact. Throw it away, right now. Hearing your words, the red glow in Old Lu's eyes faded, regaining a trace of clarity. But suddenly, the 10,000 soul banner began to shake violently. The black mist seemed to come alive. It crawled right into his eyes and nose. Once the black mist entered his body, Old Lu seemed to become a completely different person. His voice became incredibly hoarse, as if thousands of souls were stuck in his throat, screaming all at once. So what? Doesn't getting stronger come with a price? Old Lu, are you still Old Lu? You're absolutely terrifying. That's exactly it. Only by making others fear you, will you never get bullied again. What kind of messed up world is this? I followed the rules, I obeyed the law, and those corrupt officials used me as a scapegoat and forced me into the army. My family was kind and honest, only to be eaten alive and stripped of everything by those vicious scumbags. And what about General Sun Chang'en, the man you admire so much? Wasn't he pushed over the edge too? Why do you even care if those villagers live or die? Survive for yourself, get stronger. That is the natural law, that is the only true path. Old Lu walked toward you, step by step. You were backed into a corner. You wanted to fight back, but under the crushing pressure of the 10,000 soul banner. The true Kai inside your body froze completely. You couldn't channel it at all. Old Lu reached out his hand to you. Come on, Chen Yi. I won't hurt you. Whether it was back in the military camp or escaping from Yan Pass, you've helped me so many times. I'm a man who repays his debts. We can share this great treasure together. How about it? Your spider sense was tingling like crazy. You knew he was lying to you. More than likely, Old Lu was on the verge of dying from old age. And the 10,000 soul banner was looking for its next sucker. At this point, Old Lu had most likely been completely taken over by the evil artifact. Not wanting to kick the bucket, you frantically held up a red iron pellet. This was one of the many spiritual tools General Sun Chang'en had given you. It was called the smoke escape bead. You smashed the smoke escape bead hard onto the ground. A massive amount of thick smoke quickly filled the entire Ling Feng pavilion. At the same time, a gust of wind flew out from the bead and lifted your feet, massively boosting your running speed. Taking advantage of the thick smoke blinding Old Lu, you sprinted away at full speed. Ha ha ha, did you really think you could run away? Old Lu stopped pretending entirely. He waved the 10,000 soul banner, and the dense black mist instantly swallowed the entire Ling Feng pavilion. Streams of black mist coiled tightly around you. No matter how hard you struggled, it was useless. You could feel your life force slowly draining away. You refused to accept this. But in the end, you were completely powerless. Suddenly, all around Ling Feng pavilion, several streaks of sword light slashed through the air, scattering the black mist. You crashed hard onto the ground, severely injured. You couldn't even manage to crawl up. An overwhelming wave of exhaustion made your eyelids heavier and heavier. Right before losing consciousness, you faintly saw a familiar silhouette. You were unconscious for 7 days. Having finally regained your strength, you woke up. You found yourself resting inside a wooden cabin in the woods. The surrounding scenery was as beautiful as a painting. The air was fresh and deeply soothing to the soul. You're awake. You heard a woman's voice. It seemed she was the one who had been taking care of you this whole time, pulling you back from the gates of hell time and time again. My savior, please accept my... Shu Ling Long. Seeing you, Shu Ling Long was absolutely thrilled. Thank goodness, my savior, you're finally awake. You were completely confused right now. Wait, why are you calling me your savior? Didn't you get that backward? Shu Linglong tells you about what she's been through all these years. Back when she was a bandit in Baiyun County, she happened to run into you. For some reason, you knew her name, and even warned her to watch out for the second in command of the Flying Tiger stronghold. Shu Linglong took those words to heart and kept her guard up. Sure enough, she discovered that the second in command was up to no good, and was secretly colluding with the government. Unfortunately, her old man, Shu Hu, was way too stubborn. Shu Linglong talked until she was blue in the face. But Shu Hu just wouldn't believe that his second in command would ever betray the stronghold. Left with no choice, when the government troops finally marched up the mountain to wipe them out, Shu Linglong, who was already prepared, had hidden herself just outside the stronghold well in advance. In the end, she managed to escape through a secret passage. Later on, she made her way over to Sanjiang Prefecture, where the local Qingtang sect discovered she had mid-tier spiritual roots, and so they took her in as a disciple. 7 days ago, all the sects in Sanjiang Prefecture joined forces to hunt down a demonic overlord. And she just so happened to save you. I suppose this means I've finally repaid your kindness. I wonder, my benefactor, what are your plans now? Where will you go from here? Option 1. Find a small town, and open up a martial arts dojo to fulfill the dying wishes of your fallen comrades. Or, continue wandering the world, and see if you can stumble upon any fortunate encounters. Or, go track down old Lu, and snatch back the 10,000 souls banner. That precious baby is all mine, ha ha ha. To think I'd actually run into Shu Linglong here. System, you did this on purpose, didn't you? It's one thing in the simulation, but in the real world, I really don't want to get too tangled up with Shu Linglong. The me in the simulation has already mentioned that I want to fulfill my fallen comrades' dying wishes. Besides, between the pill poison and the 10,000 souls banner both tearing at me, my body in the simulation is already in terrible shape. Continuing to wander around out there would just be sheer torture. I might as well retire early. Who knows, maybe I'll manage to live a few extra years and draw a few more traits. The simulation continues. You bid farewell to Shu Linglong, and settled down in the nearby Mako town. A month later, the Chengan Martial Arts Dojo was officially established. After all, the training materials you plan to use were all the very same techniques that Sun Chengan had given you back in the day. Year 27, 44 years old, you never hold anything back when teaching your techniques. Coupled with the fact that your tuition fees are so low, quite a lot of apprentices come to learn from you out of pure admiration. The dojo is absolutely booming. One day, while you were taking a stroll down the street, you spotted 2 filthy beggars from afar. Taking a closer look, you realize that the chubby beggar with eyes looking in completely opposite directions is unmistakably Da Chun. You never expected to run into Da Chun here, and you certainly didn't expect that the little girl following him around would actually be your third sister's daughter, Yin Yin. You urgently ask, what happened? How on earth did you guys end up here? Where is my third sister? Where is my brother-in-law? Da Chun was never very bright to begin with, and your rapid-fire questions just make him scratch his head in panic. Instead, it's the clever and articulate little Yin Yin who explains everything clearly. It turns out that not long after you were conscripted into the army, Shen Qingshan was completely framed for murder. He fought back with everything he had, buying enough time for your third sister to escape. In a moment of sheer desperation, your third sister had no choice but to hand Yin Yin over to Da Chun. While she ran deep into the alleyway all by herself, before parting ways, she glanced back one last time. Just a moment later, a pack of ruthless pursuers followed your third sister's tracks and chased right after her. Even though Da Chun is a bit slow, even he knew they couldn't stay in Baiyun County anymore. So, he took Yin Yin and fled, begging for food all the way until they reached Mako town. Now that they've run into you, Da Chun and Yin Yin's days of suffering are finally over. The two of them settle down in your dojo, but the raging fire in your heart simply refuses to die down. Why on earth is the county magistrate so obsessed with killing off Shen Qingshan? That's right, when my lifespan is finally nearing its end, I'll go back and investigate this whole damn mess myself. Year 28, 45 years old, currently drawing a new trait. Draw successful, demonic aura, green tier. Wherever a demon passes, they will inevitably leave behind a demonic aura. This aura now becomes completely visible to your very eyes. Year 29, 46 years old, extracting traits. Extraction successful, old ginger is spicier. Your cultivation speed, physical strength, vitality, and so on, won't degrade as your body ages. And the older you get, the faster you cultivate. It can boost your speed up to 5 times. Another drop, and it's an epic trait. Because of the pill toxicity and the myriad soul banner, you are aging way faster than normal, perfectly hitting the conditions for old ginger is spicier. You replaced Sirius with old ginger is spicier. Da-chun and your niece have been living here for over 2 years now. Da-chun helps out with chores and whatever he can manage every day, while Nanyan trains with the apprentices at the dojo. You were amazed to discover she actually has high-tier potential. You contacted Shu Linglong, and recommended Nanyan to the Qingtang sect, hoping she'd make a name for herself in martial arts. Right before she left, you gave Yinyan a proper name, Shen Sikin. Uncle, you really need to take care of yourself. Your coughing has gotten so much worse these past 2 years. Make sure you drink the herbal soup Auntie Linglong gave you on time. Don't complain about it being bitter. Shen Sikin kept reminding you before she left. So deeply worried about you. Year 33, 50 years old. The bad news is, at just 50 years old, your body functions like an old man in his 70s or 80s. The good news is, old ginger is spicier, is speeding up your cultivation even more. Thanks to the double boost of hard work pays off and old ginger is spicier. Your martial arts level has improved a lot over the years. You recently broke through to the 3rd tier of spirit gathering. Year 34, 51 years old. You've heard war broke out down south again. The southern frontier's stability, bought by marriage alliances, shattered once more. An empress who united the 100 southern nations has risen to power, launching a full-scale counterattack on the Central Plains. Year 38, 55 years old. Your health is failing day by day. You can easily tell, because your cultivation speed is getting insanely fast. You've already reached the 5th tier of spirit gathering. The maximum speed boost from old ginger is spicier. Triggers right when you're knocking on death's door. Knowing your days are numbered, it's time to head to Baiyun County and force the county office to give you some answers. You replaced hard work pays off with serious punch. Serious punch, when you fight without any weapons or skills, relying purely on basic attacks, your strength is multiplied by 10. You replaced photographic memory with Badminton Pro. Badminton Pro, your right arm's strength is doubled. If you're left-handed, it applies to the left. The very next day, you arrived in Baiyun County. Beneath the peaceful surface, dark currents were surging. Thanks to the demonic aura trait, you can literally see demonic energy. You noticed that in Baiyun County, demonic smog is floating everywhere. Seriously, what the hell is the local demon slaying division doing? Just letting monsters waltz right into the city? You marched up to the county office. Your overflowing killer intent instantly drew the guards' attention. But these ordinary mortals are an absolute joke to a spirit-gathering cultivator like you. This was your first real fight in this simulation. Your blood was pumping. Among the Yamen constables and the chief catcher, there were actually martial artists. That chief catcher was close to your level, fighting you to a standstill. The constables shot cheap arrows from the shadows, and while you were distracted, the chief violently disarmed your sword. He thought he had the win in the bag, completely unaware that your basic attack was actually your ultimate move. He even tried to tank your punch with his armor. With Badminton Pro and Serious Punch stacked together, you threw a punch packing 20 times your normal power. That chief catcher was instantly sent to meet his maker. County Magistrate, hope you've been well. Friend, do I know you? I don't know you, but I sure know your dad. Never thought a county magistrate title could be hereditary. Just how many strings did your family pull anyway? That fat, pig-headed magistrate from before already kicked the bucket. And this guy in front of me is his son, who grew up to be the complete opposite extreme. Skinny as a rail, you asked him about the old case involving you and Shen Qingshan. The magistrate didn't remember you at all, but he remembered Shen Qingshan clear as day. Back then, Shen Qingshan fought to the bitter end and took down the magistrate's old man, who happened to be the previous magistrate. This current magistrate was a spineless coward. After you smashed 13 of his ribs to pieces, he finally spilled the beans. Monsters were taking lives in Xian County. The magistrate had been doctoring the files, framing humans for the monsters' dirty work. Shen Qingshan caught onto this and kept digging, which was exactly why he had to be silenced. You were even more baffled. Why on earth would anyone cover for those beasts? Because of Feng Yucheng. Shut your mouth, speak of the devil, and he appears. Feng Yucheng had arrived, dropping from the sky just like he did all those years ago. Feng Yucheng formed a hand seal and pointed, sending 4 pillars of light shooting straight into the clouds. The entire county office was swallowed by a massive magic array. A constable demanded to know, "Chief Feng, what in the world are you doing?" The constables were terrified. Feng Yucheng was the undisputed #1 martial artist in Xian County. His power was completely unfathomable. Why on earth would he need a full-blown magic array just to take down a nobody like Chen Yi? Feng Yucheng let out a cold sneer. "If you want to point fingers, point them at this blabbermouth right here." A flash of white light zipped through the air, instantly blasting a hole straight through the magistrate's head. Seeing this horrific sight, the constables completely panicked. But the county office was already locked down by the array. There was no way out. Feng Yucheng ruthlessly picked them off, one by one. Very quickly, you were the only one left standing with him. By now, dark, twisted veins had crept across Feng Yucheng's face, looking eerily similar to when old Lu went full demon. Feng Yucheng actually still remembered you. "Chen Yi, you're an old man now. What's the point of coming back? You survived the brutal march into exile. You should have just found some rundown village and lived out your pathetic days." What Feng Yucheng didn't know was, that's exactly what you did. You just got totally screwed over by the pill's toxic backlash and old Lu's betrayal, which was why your time was almost up anyway. Knowing full well you were no match for him, you calmly plopped yourself down on the steps. The chief of the demon-slaying division, acting as a shield for the very monsters we hunt. What do you even get out of this? Seeing that you had 0 fight left in you, Feng Yucheng didn't rush to finish the job. If monsters run wild for too long, the imperial court comes down hard on the local demon-slaying division. But those filthy beasts just can't help themselves from snacking on humans. So, I had a brilliant idea. I took the monster attack files and spun them into human-on-human crimes. All I had to do was pin the blame on a few unlucky scapegoats. And what exactly do the monsters give you in return? Power. Feng Yucheng's voice suddenly warped, sounding like the agonizing roar of 10,000 voices screaming all at once. I started with trash-tier potential, just like you. For people like us, born with absolute garbage talent. Do you have any idea how insanely hard it is to cultivate the martial path? But the monsters, they can refine blood demon pills. They help me shatter my natural limits. My power just keeps growing. Maybe it was that shared lack of talent that made Feng Yucheng actually want to talk to you a little longer. Don't blame me, Chen Yi. In a world where absolute power rules, if I didn't do this, I'd just be dead meat on someone else's chopping block. You flipped him the bird, silently mouthing the words, "Let's finish this in the next life." Simulation terminated. Your evaluation for this run. A brilliant mind meant to guide generals, a loyal soul falls, leaving the nation in unrest. Holding on to fading dreams in the twilight of life, your fists struck out to bring light to the darkest night. Congratulations, you have unlocked the following inheritances. 1. 39 years of travel memories. Spirit Gathering Realm, Level 5 Cultivation. Photographic Memory, Old but Deadly. Purple Tier and 39 other traits in total. Outer Martial Art, True Sun Formula, Mastered. Inner Martial Art, Blazing Heart Formula, Skilled. Combat Skill, Burning Cloud Palm. The system rewards instantly dropped into your account, and a brand new tutorial quest popped up right on cue. Simulation currently on cooldown, time remaining 1 year. You can choose to complete the following tutorial quest. Instantly earn another simulation attempt. Tutorial quest. Leave the Blackstone Gang. Take Da Chun to his hometown in Xian County. Reward. 1. Simulation attempts +1. 2. Premium trait draws +1. 3. Spirit Guiding Pills +10. A knock comes from outside the door. Instructor Chen, the boys made some late-night snacks, come have a bite. What's this? Authentic Iron Bull beef noodles. I don't eat beef. The massive commotion attracts the guards patrolling nearby. What happened here?